All right, so obviously my team, the Oakland A's, are in the process of trying to get a new ballpark in Oakland, and exploring, of course, other options, but primarily focusing on this Oakland ballpark. Recent stuff has come out about the LA Angels, well, really the Anaheim Angels, about potential plans of building and redeveloping in Anaheim that, of course, fell through as of a couple of days ago because of corruption and an FBI investigation that's very, very complicated at this point. But the bottom line is the Angels are sort of walking a tightrope, so to speak, with the city of Anaheim and the future of their ball club and where it will play, of course. So, sort of to give some background information, the Angels in late 2019 were set to buy the Angel Stadium land and stadium off of Anaheim for a very low amount of about $300 million. And as of recent, that plan fell through. Like I said, there was corruption involved. The FBI is getting into it. It's a pretty big deal. So, the Angels are sort of, at a crossroads here. How do we stay, how do we stay in Anaheim, for a reasonable price, or do we move elsewhere? And honestly, first, before I get into some of the details, I think, honestly, the Angels belong in Anaheim, personally. I think where they play, although it's not the nicest stadium, it's historic, and there's so much land there. That's the thing. Like their parking lot is huge, their land plot is big, and their stadium, it's been renovated before, and it could be a lot worse. Let's just put it that way. It's definitely a lot nicer than the Oakland Coliseum, despite being around the same age as the Oakland Coliseum. But basically, some of the details are the Angels and Long Beach sort of have interest in each other. Now, Long Beach is 25 miles basically on the coast. Anaheim's 25 miles inland about. And so, the Angels wouldn't be moving too far, but as I know, as someone who's lost two teams as a sports fan, I know losing a team can be difficult no matter if it's 10 miles or a completely different state. Now, Long Beach obviously is a city that is, I think, very much has a lot of potential for sports culture, but they don't have experience with it, right? They have college sports and whatnot, Long Beach State, but they don't have pro teams. So I think the Angels could either very much thrive there or fail there. Now, I think they would thrive there in terms of how nice their stadium would be, because it would probably be a waterfront stadium. And as we know, I myself love waterfront stadiums. Oracle Park is a great example. Howard Terminal, when it's built, will be a beautiful ballpark. And Long Beach, if they can manage to build a suitable ballpark for the Angels, then it will be a beautiful stadium, I can almost guarantee you. Now, the issue is Long Beach, like I said, they lack the experience, and also it's going to cost a lot of money. Building on the California coastline is very expensive, even if you're a tiny bit inland. But there is land there. It's right off the water. And the A's obviously are spending a lot of money just right now, even in the preliminary stages with Howard Terminal, spending a lot of money. So I think this would definitely cost a lot of money, and it would be very, very complicated. And if they are going to try to build in Long Beach, it's not going to happen in a couple of years. This is probably going to be a 10-20 year plan, if I'm being honest. I mean, building a stadium alone can take years to build, but building one, especially when you're under investigation, can be very difficult too. Now, the issue with the Angels, and I feel like this is sort of the elephant in the room, is the Angels are not the beloved LA baseball club. They are the stepchild team in LA. The Dodgers, are very much historical. You can love them, you can hate them. I feel like people either love the Dodgers or hate the Dodgers. There's no in between. But there's no denying if whether or not you're on either side of the spectrum in that sense. The Dodgers are LA's baseball team. They have been for over 60 years, almost 65 years, and they are a multi-World Series champion team. They play in the heart of LA. They are definitely LA's team. They wear LA on their ball caps as well. Now, the Angels obviously go by the name Los Angeles Angels, but everyone knows they play in the city of Anaheim, which is home to Disneyland, far outside of LA, not super far, but far enough, in Orange County. So the thing with the Angels is they've always had an identity crisis. So if they move to Long Beach, it won't, in my opinion, won't really make a big deal in terms of that. I know people are fed up with the name. They used to be called the California Angels, which made sense. It was sort of the Golden State Warriors debacle, where it's like, okay, California is such a big state. California could be a country, and you're naming yourself California when you're not, when you play in one specific part of it. Now, I think if the Angels move to Long Beach, they're probably going to still be called the LA Angels. They've taken Anaheim really out of their identity, to begin with. And I think the issue with the Angels is I just don't think they'll do that well in Long Beach in terms of being. I think they'll be profitable because I can't deny the Angels have talent. They have Mike Trout. They grew Mike Trout. They grew Shohei Ohtani. They've grown a lot of good players from the minor leagues and whatnot, and development. They're kind of like the A's in that sense. I mean, they're not quite as good when it comes to playoff berths and whatnot, but they are relevant. But I think the issue with the Angels is if they're getting support right now because they're Anaheim's team, they're not getting support because they're LA's team. Someone who lives in downtown Los Angeles likely is not going to be an Angels fan. They're very likely going to be a Dodgers fan, whereas someone in Anaheim is almost guaranteed going to be a Angels fan because that's their team. Now, if the Angels move out of Anaheim, sort of like if the A's moved out of Oakland, it's like, where do these fans go? It's almost more logical to like the Dodgers at that point. Now, I think that is sort of irrelevant now because I think it's only 25 miles about, so it's not really a huge deal when it comes to geography. But I think the Angels, they're profitable right now. They're sort of middle of the road. But when it comes to how are they going to do in the future when they don't have really this identity now. Back to the stadium thing, if Long Beach doesn't work out, then I honestly expect the Angels to explore other options. Now, I do think LA deserves 2 baseball teams. Should they have 2 baseball teams? That's up for debate, right? Should they have 2 football teams? I don't know. Should they have 2 basketball teams? I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, I think they deserve 2 of each sport. But the problem is the Angels don't even play in LA, and there's no competition between the Dodgers and Angels. So I think if Long Beach doesn't work out and Anaheim doesn't work out, I think the Angels probably could move to a city that is hopeful for an MLB team, whether it be Vegas, whether it be Montreal, whether it be, any city right now that is, very much hungry for MLB, franchise in their area. So I think the Angels, they have time, right? They have time right now. Because they have time on their lease at least I think at Angel Stadium. But I think the problem is if they're not building at Angel Stadium site where that big parking lot is, where are they going to build in Anaheim? There's just not enough land to go around. Whereas in Long Beach you have land, and I'm sure they probably could find land in other suburbs and other small cities in the area. But the fact of the matter is the Angels are sort of walking a tightrope right now. And I think, honestly, to compare this stadium saga with the A's stadium saga, I got to say the Angels one is worse because they don't actually have a plan right now. And I honestly am sort of worried for Angel fans because I think teams that play in these smaller markets tend to have more diehard fans, and I do think the Angels have a diehard fan base in that Anaheim area. But the problem is they brand themselves as the LA Angels, and now they're sort of, thinking about other places, and I just don't know how that's going to work. So anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts on this saga. I know it's not the A's, but it's very much relevant to the A's. It's an in-state rival, and division rival, and a team that we are very much familiar with. So let me know your guys' thoughts. I'll see you guys later, and yeah, peace out.